2018 Audi A4 Avant review. The good points of Audi A4 Avant: overall efficiency, superb quality, security of quattro available, laden with technology. The bad points of Audi A4 Avant: another styling evolution. Handling lacks fun factor. Lots of safety kit options. Such would be the subtle styling evolution. You will be hard-pressed to inform this would be the latest generation Audi A4 Avant, but fresh from your ground-up pits. The recipe is really as it's been: make Audi A4 saloon, convey a significant level of practicality by having an estate car bottom, albeit one which has a rakish silhouette, and also the Avant comes into the world, battling its natural rivals inside forms on the BMW 3 Series Touring, Mercedes-Benz Class Estate and Volvo V60. The most up-to-date A4 Avant also faces quite a job from well-appointed versions of more mainstream wagons, for example the Ford Mondeo Estate and Volkswagen Passat Estate. We ran one as being a long-termer. Watch more here. More efficient engines. With a powertrain lineup that's as much as 25% better than its predecessor, the Audi A4 Avant is likely to appear upon the radar of company car drivers, particularly with CO2 emissions just 104 GkM. That boast is probably the 150 horsepower 2.0-liter TDI Ultra, regardless of the official average economy claim of 70.6 miles per gallon. A4 Avants built with this engine will complete the 062 miles per hour sprint within just 10 seconds. It's one of a couple of petrol and diesel power plants available too. There's a 190 horsepower edition in the 2.0-liter TDI, while a V6 3.0-liter version will come in 218 horsepower and 272 horsepower outputs. For people who prefer petrol power, there's a trio of choices: single 4-liter TSI producing 150 horsepower, even though the 2.0-liter TFSI can be purchased in 190 bhp and 252 horsepower forms. At nearly 144 GkM, the latter may be the least clean on the 7 engines. Topping the stove from summer 2016, the modern S4 Avant comes with a 3.0-liter turbocharged V6 petrol engine, producing 354 horsepower. That's enough to propel it from 062 miles per hour inside of 5 seconds. Depending upon the engine and perhaps the A4 Avant's front-wheel drive or possibly a quattro with power delivered to all 4 wheels, 3 transmissions can be found. Most come with a 6-speed manual gearbox as standard, but 2 automatic alternatives exist, a 7-speed dual-clutch S-tronic with an 8-speed Tiptronic. 4 well-equipped trim levels. Following the identical trim level hierarchy as other models inside range, the Audi A4 Avant comes in SE, Sport, S-Line and S4 specifications. All are generously appointed. Perhaps the SE is included with xenon headlamps, LED day running lights, 17-inch alloy wheels and also a 7-inch infotainment screen with accompanying multimedia interface MMI rotary controller. Choose the Sport for sedan LED interior lighting and sporty design cues in and out. As you move, the S-Line incorporates full LED exterior lighting and 20mm lowered suspension among its highlights. Plump with the flagship S4 and you'll spot more aggressive bumpers, gray exterior accents, a rear diffuser with an upgraded interior with darker fixtures and fittings. There's many extra cost options to peruse too, including adaptive suspension. The virtual cockpit digital instrument display is showcased within the Audi TT along with a sophisticated adaptive cruise control that monitors speed limits and automatically adjusts itself accordingly. High-quality ambience. Everywhere you appear in or around the Audi A4 Avant, it reeks of quality, the types of materials alone setting a whole new benchmark within the premium compact estate class. Its light, airy interior, using the Lucid dashboard shared using the A4 saloon, feels impeccably assembled and interestingly detailed using its full-width air vent and high-quality central infotainment screen. Avant. If it doesn't glide back into the dashboard, you should definitely require it as for the Audi A6 Avant. There's an electrical operation for not exactly the tailgate but also the luggage cover, which rises up out on the way to allow for unobstructed having access to the enlarged 505-liter cargo bay, itself increased to just 1,510 liters if the split rear seatbacks are tumbled forwards. Available to order from November 2015, first deliveries on the Audi A4 Avant were in January 2016. Top-end RS4 performance version. Watch the entire driving impressions within the buying and selling section. Debuted for the 2017 Frankfurt Motor Show, the RS4 Avant took its place since the top-of-the-range performance version inside range. Boasting 450 horsepower and 600 Nm of torque from a 2.9-liter turbocharged V6 engine, the RS4 Avant is capable of doing accelerating from 0 miles per hour in the claimed 4.1 seconds, which has a limited top speed of 155 miles per hour. As standard, the RS4 Avant sits 7 mm a lesser amount than the standard A4 with sports suspension and in addition benefits from permanent quattro all-wheel drive as well as an 8-speed Tiptronic automatic gearbox. Dynamic Ride Control (DRC), referred to as adaptive suspension, and ceramic brakes are optional extras. All cars use a beefed-up body kit, including 19-inch alloy wheels, a roof spoiler and twin-oval tailpipes, and also a full leather interior, flat-bottom tire and RS badges adorning the lining. Priced from £61,625, the RS4 Avant is a result of go on sale in September 2017. The verdict. The Audi A4 Avant most likely are not the roomiest selection for your money. However, it is probably the most accomplished. If you're after comfort, attempt to avoid large wheels. You may specify as much as 19-inch on standard A4s, whilst they look the most effective. Like the saloon, the inner is a masterpiece of considered design. The quality has risen there together with the very best, and also the driving position and control switchgear are an utter joy to drive an automobile. Diesels are punchy and efficient, and perhaps they are still the pick on the range, however the smaller petrols possess the power to surprise. Review in the Audi A4 Avant. 4 diesels and 4 petrols, all turbocharged. Most efficient TDI model emits just 104 gkm of CO2. Trio of gearbox options to consider. Whether you end up picking a petrol or diesel power plant, every engine is turbocharged, ensuring strong Audi A4 Avant performance in spite of efficiency improvements over its predecessor. Quartet of diesels. The cheapest diesel entry model is usually the most efficient offering from the A4 Avant lineup, but that doesn't mean performance has become compromised. With 150 horsepower and 320 Nm of torque from the lowly 1,500 revolutions per minute, the 2.0 TDI Ultra can reach 130 miles per hour and finish the 062 miles per hour sprint in 9.2 seconds, yet Audi still claims 70.6 miles per gallon and CO2 emissions of just 104 gkm. Those figures relate to the typical 6-speed manual, but opt for your 7-speed S-tronic automatic to get a 9-second 062 miles per hour. Serious amounts of identical efficiency figures. Opt for your 190 horsepower version with the 2.0 TDI Ultra engine with 400 Nm of torque at a slightly higher 1,750 revolutions per minute and Whilst the top speed remains the identical, the sprint from standstill to 62 miles per hour drops to 7.9 seconds for the two manual and S-tronic automatic versions. Need the protection of four-wheel drive? Then the 190 horsepower edition with S-tronic is usually available in quattro guise, with all the 062 miles per hour time dropping to 7.4 seconds. Efficiency tumbles to 62.8 miles per gallon and 116 gkm of CO2 compared while using front drive's 68.9 miles per gallon and 106 gkm claims. Efficient 6-cylinder diesel. Audi claims these .0 TDI with 218 horsepower would be the most efficient 6-cylinder engine available, and it's installed inside the A4 Avant within front-wheel drive and quattro four-wheel drive formats. There's 400 Nm of torque from an ultra-low 1,250 revolutions per minute. Top speed is electronically on a 155 miles per hour. Even so, the extra traction in the quattro accounts for a 6.4 second 062 miles per hour time compared to 6.7 seconds for that front drive version, although the second still claims a 64.2 miles per gallon average and 114 gkm CO2 emissions. Topping the diesel range is usually a 272 horsepower edition in the V6 TDI, complete having a Tiptronic 8-speed automatic and quattro drivetrain. With an enormous 600 Nm of torque which is available from 1,500 revolutions per minute, the 062 miles per hour time is slashed to 2.4 seconds. Top speed remains governed at 155 miles per hour. Audi claims this A4 Avant will still average 53.3 miles per gallon with CO2 emissions of just 139 gkm. 3 mainstream petrol choices. At the lower end on the range, single .4 TFSI petrol with 150 horsepower would be the starting point. From 1,500 revolutions per minute there exists 250 Nm of torque available, enough allowing it to sprint from 062 miles per hour in 9 seconds and onto a highly regarded speed of 130 miles per hour. 6-speed manual and 7-speed S-tronic automatic versions on the 190 horsepower 2.0 TFSI are available, both with 320 Nm of torque which is available from just 1,450 revolutions per minute, unusually low for the petrol engine. Both will reach 146 miles per hour and take care of the 062 miles per hour test in 7.5 seconds. However, the automatic's the better of the two, 53.3 miles per gallon and 121 gkm compared to using the manual's 50.4 miles per gallon and 129 gkm quotes. Upgraded to 252 horsepower and 370 Nm of torque at 1,600 revolutions per minute would be the more powerful 2.0 TFSI with S-tronic box and quattro. Top speed is governed to 155 miles per hour while 62 miles per hour is reached from the standstill in 6 seconds. Sporty S4 Avant packs turbocharged 3.0-liter. It won't remain the fastest A4 within the estate range. For the time being, the S4 Avant tops the balance courtesy of 354 horsepower and 500 Nm of torque from 1,370 revolutions per minute, from its turbocharged 3.0-liter V6 petrol engine. Top speed is again electronically limited by 155 miles per hour but at 4.9 seconds for that 062 miles per hour blast. This may be the quickest accelerating S4 Avant yet. Middle. 4 diesels and 4 petrols, all turbocharged. Improved steering feel over previous model. Drive select allows different parameters for being chosen. Adaptive suspension a welcome option. A couple in the criticisms leveled at previous generations in the Audi A4 Avant linked to its lackluster handling and inert steering. Pleasingly, this can be no longer the truth. While the steering may do not have the ultimate finesse in the BMW 3 Series Touring, it represents an enormous improvement above the previous A4 Avant. You can adjust the weighting on the wheel using the Drive Select feature, but we found comfort to become the ideal setting across various road conditions. Not just that, it's more communicative too, allowing the driving force to feel more confident pushing the Audi through corners. When you choose to tackle a bend at significant speed, you'll appreciate how little the A4 Avant rolls through corners, turning it into enjoyable they are driving at pace, particularly with all the added grip of quattro versions, but it's less enthralling since it's a BMW rival. Adjustable driving modes. As having its saloon counterpart, the most up-to-date Audi A4 Avant includes Drive Select as standard, permitting you to vary parameters including steering weight, accelerator responsiveness and automatic gear change patterns between comfort, auto, efficiency, dynamic and individual, a customizable setting. All the A4 Avants we've tested up to now have been fitted with adaptive suspension, the stiffness of which is additionally altered via Drive Select. Particularly in comfort mode, they deliver a suppleness not normally connected with firmly sprung Audis, yet it remains controlled, not feeling enjoy it wants to pitch or wallow while you change direction at speed. There's a clear increase in side firmness after you switch to dynamic, but it's less than harsh. Your passengers will complain. S4 Avant delivers more sportiness. Upgrading the performance in the Audi S4 Avant wasn't enough. The firm's made strides to make certain it's more satisfying they are driving. That has a reasonably successful outcome. Not only will it feature quattro four-wheel drive, the suspension sits 23 mm, a lesser amount than it does on lesser A4 Avants. That minimizes body roll when cornering, a piece further enhanced from the Audi's torque vectoring system, which subtly breaks the inside wheels through bends, encouraging the automobile to conserve a tighter line in corners. In a go-to-state enthusiastic drivers further, 60% on the S4 Avant's power is delivered to the rear wheels, as opposed to split equally while using front bare. There's more willingness on the Audi to allow its tail slide, particularly with all the traction control powered down, but specifying the optional sports differential improves the handling further. High-quality interior bests rivals. Airy design but breaks little new ground. Wealth of onboard technology available. Such will be the level of quality of both materials and build with the Audi A4 Avant's interior that its rivals will need a headache. It may break little new ground stylistically, but that aside, it's outstanding. You'll spot familiar themes. There's the interior with air vent that mimics that for the Audi Q7 and Volkswagen Passat, albeit which has a contoured profile inside A4 Avant. Plus there's the optional virtual cockpit replacing the regular analog dials. That 12.3-inch LCD display is configurable, helping you to relay sat-nav and driving mode information easily, but whether it's really worth the extra outlay is debatable, especially if you've opted for that excellent head-up display system. Everywhere inside the Audi A4 Avant's cabin that your particular fingers caress, you'll be impressed because of the tactile qualities, from your squidgy soft-touch plastics towards the exquisitely damped switchgear. Determining a cushy driving position is not difficult too, with full adjustment of both seat and leader. Superb ride comfort, particular with adaptive suspension. Optional replacement doors and windows and excellent aerodynamics reduce noise. Increase in interior space over previous A4 Avant. Optional adaptive suspension is central to Audi A4 Avant comfort, superbly isolating drivers and passengers through the road's imperfections, yet does so in the controlled manner for the benefit of agility as and whenever you need it. There's an aura of serene calm about the newest A4 Avant that produces you feel cocooned in the outside world without any in the echoing cabin noises many still usually associate with estate cars. The seats are happy yet very supportive, benefiting in the increased space available to back and front seat occupants. 3 adults can always feel squeezed sat abreast the back bench, though. Audi's worked not easy to improve the A4 Avant's aerodynamics, claiming a figure-only CD 0.26 that's benefits for fuel efficiency and reduce wind noise. If you're able to spend a lot more money, Audi will fit double glazing for the front side windows, too. Whether you go searching for petrol or diesel power plants, you'll appreciate their hushed tones when cruising, their roariness only becoming apparent after you're driving with greater verve. 4 equipment levels, say, Sport, S-Line and S4. Generously appointed lineup. Plethora of expensive available options. From its November 2015 debut around the British market, the A4 Avant entered 3 familiar Audi trim numbers of say, Sport and S-Line, together with the high-performance S4 joining the lineup in summer 2016. Standard Audi A4 Avant equipment. Even though it's the cheapest trim inside the A4 Avant hierarchy, say certainly doesn't feel remotely discount. Its equipment roster includes xenon headlamps with LED day running lights, 17-inch 10-spoke alloy wheels, aluminum roof rails, rear parking sensors, keyless entry and start with an electric tailgate. Inside the SE also is sold with 3-zone climate control to the aircon, drive select, cruise control and multimedia interface MMI Radio Plus, complete that has a 7-inch monitor and smartphone integration. Progress on the Sport, anticipated to account for 1/2 of all A4 Avants, and in addition for the SE's specification are many features to boost the Audi's, well, sportiness. There's a subtle body kit, complemented by 17-inch 5-spoke design alloys and also a matte gray grille with chrome accents. Climb aboard and you'll see the integrated SE Sport front seats, a 3-spoke multi-function steering wheel along with an upgraded audio system. Next is S-Line. The exterior ones is further distinguished that has a more overtly styled body kit, chrome exhaust finishers, LED lights back and front, 18-inch 5-spoke star alloys and 20mm lower sport suspension. Inside there's part leather upholstery, black headlining and perforated leather around the gear knob and controls. Sitting as kids' flagship could be the high-performance S4 Avant, which receives unique back and front bumpers, 23mm lower suspension and distinctive pale gray elements on the grilles as well as other moldings. While the inner's closely reminiscent in the S-Line models, there's also brushed aluminum trim appliques, a distinctive rev counter-dominated version from the virtual cockpit as well as a generally blacker ambience inside the cabin. Optional Audi A4 Avant accessories. As was ever thus with premium cars, you'll be able to tailor the A4 Avant on your own specific requirements that has a wide array of extra cost options. There are lots to explain in greater detail, but you find key items ought to have further consideration. A selection of different alloy wheels designs can be found ranging from 17 to 19 inches in diameter, although notice larger ones affect fuel consumption and CO2 emissions. There are also 14 different paint colors to select from, including Daytona Gray, specifically for your S-Line versions. Adaptive suspension isn't standard about the A4 Avant, but depending on our experience together with the saloon on standard springs, the optional system is usually a worthwhile investment. There are comfort and sport versions in this arrangement, aforementioned 20mm lower. There's also an adaptive cruise control option which adds to your sophistication in this technology by altering its set speed to reflect actual speed limits together with using information through the sedan system to automatically slow or brake for tighter bends whenever you upgrade on the driver assistance pack. That information's also visible with the head-up display system, one from the clearest examples we've yet experienced, which has a very neat integration on top from the dashboard. You can also have your standard analog instruments exchanged for that Audi virtual cockpit through an adaptive LCD display screen. Audi's phone box system allows wireless charging of smartphones and permits to mobiles for being connected via Bluetooth simultaneously, ideal for people who have both a work and private phone. Headlamps could be further upgraded with matrix LED things that shut down portions in the high beam automatically to stop oncoming drivers from being dazzled. Buyers on the 2.0 TDI versions who cover significant distances regularly may benefit on the increased 54-liter capacity diesel tank as well as being the larger AdBlue fuel detergent reservoir. 5-star Euro NCAP crash test rating. Wide variety of driver assistance systems available. Security of Quattro remains a substantial draw. There's a huge range of Audi A4 Avant safety systems available so that it is one from the most secure cars in this particular segment, being and if you are unfortunate enough to get involved in an accident, as evidenced by its 5-star rating when tested from the experts at Euro NCAP. One in the A4 Avant's most impressive safety features could be the driver assistance package with adaptive cruise control. Not only can it maintain a set gap to your vehicle in front, the device also reacts to alterations in speed limits, raising and decreasing the set speed accordingly. Further, it uses sedan information to scale back speed, braking where necessary, for bends inside the road, even though there's no vehicle in front to interact with. We were particularly impressed together with the clarity with the optional head-up display function, delivering pin-sharp graphics to become displayed within the windscreen directly within the driver's eye line. It's neatly integrated on top in the dashboard too, not looking as cumbersome as rival systems. Unsurprisingly, the remainder with the safety systems are shared while using Audi A4 Saloon. Clever touches to help you practicality. 505 liters of boot space with rear seats available. Rear seats don't fold completely flat. Ignore the modest 26 mm rise in overall length because Audi A4 Avant practicality has improved significantly over its predecessor. Raise the powered tailgate and watch as being the luggage cover slides up automatically, revealing a 505 liters of superbly trimmed load bay. That's a 15-liter improvement in the previous A4 Avant, beating the Mercedes-Benz Class Estate by the identical amount plus the BMW 3 Series Touring by 10. Fold the split rear seats forwards, they don't lie completely flat for outright flexibility, and you'll unlock 1,510 liters of space. While that's a large 80-liter improvement in the last A4 Avant, it's only 10 liters, a lot more than the BMW and exactly the same as the Mercedes. There's additional space for back and front occupants, too, meaning 4 6-foot-tall adults can sit very comfortably, with ample head, leg and shoulder room.